World Financial Group offers entrepreneurs from all backgrounds the opportunity to start their own business on a level playing field. Dr. Yana Woodhouse, receiving the WCM Wall Street Pioneer Award by the United Black Wall Street of America, Inc., is one of those entrepreneurs.
I see WFG and TFA as a place where African Americans with an entrepreneurial mindset can flourish. And the bonus, we help families and serve the communities across the country.
To learn more about us, go to worldfinancialgroup.com.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.
This is Kia Rogers, and you're listening to Urbanology with my dad, Tony Rogers, on WHCR 90.3 FM New York.
Hey, what's happening? What's
Good afternoon. Tony Rogers here, your host for Urbanology, The Art of War. And it is a beautiful day, but any day that you can get up should be considered a beautiful day. I hope all is well with everyone. I believe many who have followed the show know that we're in the middle of Harlem Week, and we're doing some special Harlem Week shows for. This will be actually the last one. We had one last week and 1 week before last. The final two outdoor events are on August the 14th, and Harlem Day, the 47th annual Harlem Day, is August the 15th. And it's been 47 years. So I have two guests on. Both are board members of Harlem Week Inc., which is now its own entity with its own board of directors. It's a 501c3. Started out as a component of the Chamber of Commerce. And Ade Williams will be my first guest. He's the manager of communications for the Apollo Theater. And he's a board member of Harlem Week Inc., as well as Beatrice Boland, who will be on the second half. And she's also a board member. And one of the good things about this, these are younger people who are coming into the legacy of the 47-year-old festival. So those are great examples of passing it forward. So I would like to bring on my good friend, is like my godson, Ade. Well, actually, it's Lateef Ade Williams. So let me get it. Or did I get it right?
You don't need to know the whole. You got the. They don't need to know the whole thing.
Oh,
Yes.
well,
Hey, folks.
well,
But you know what? Let me make a quick correction before you get me in trouble, sir. I actually am the director of community programs at the Apollo, but somebody else handles communications. So I am going to communicate that I am not the direct. I'm the director of community programs, not communications, because I don't want anyone thinking that I'm going
I
from
would,
your
yeah, and
job.
I would be in a lot of trouble if I said, "You got my son fired, man." but
So
but but you do such a good job. I know that you're just saying that because I know that that would not ever be a case based on what you do and what you do well.
well, you're very kind, and I'm actually here at the Apollo Theater, and so folks can get
Yeah, I can see.
the
Wow, for
whole
those
effect. The
who,
whole effect. Here we are.
for
Ta-da!
you
It's
know, uh,
showtime.
that's
So,
great. A lot of people have never seen that, and
well, actually, I'm glad you said that because that lets me talk about the first event that we're doing in conjunction with Harlem Week. Can I mention that now?
of course, the virtual tour.
All right. The virtual tour. So, folks, if you're enjoying what you're seeing right now, the Apollo Theater is having a virtual tour of the theater. You get to kind of walk around and with our tour director, Mr. Billy Mitchell. And Billy Mitchell has been
Boy,
a part of the Apollo Theater for, I believe, about 50 years now.
he
He,
must have been
he
about
started
at
off
least about that time.
yeah, he started off as a gopher for James Brown, running errands and such, like unofficially, and then never left. And so first off, the theater's history is so rich, so interesting, right? As long
Yeah,
as you like American culture, as long as you like Black culture, as long as you like history, you really want to know about the legacy of this theater. And with Billy Mitchell, what you get is not somebody reading from a book about what they read.
he
You
lived
got
it.
a guy who was right. Like someone who knew James Brown. You have Billy Mitchell is a guy who saw the a group of amateurs during amateur night who performed, and one of those kids was a guy named
Mackie.
oh yeah, Michael Jackson, right? Right. So, and Billy Mitchell was here in the audience when that happened. So he tells amazing stories. So right now I'm here. You can see the stage itself, but on the virtual tour, you'll get to see backstage. You'll get to see the history, what have you. All of that is happening on Wednesday. And I believe that's at 4 o'clock, if my memory serves correctly. Hold it. I'm there we go.
But
4 o'clock virtual tour.
right.
So details to log on. You got to log on and register. But the virtual tour is you could do that on harlemweek.com to get the details and sign up, or apollotheater.org. And either way, but I'm telling you,
And
the
believe
guy
me,
is
Billy
yeah.
is a treasure. Some of the stories that he tells. People have come back to the Apollo just to hear him tell some more stories because you can't
He
get
tells
all of that on one
he's
tour.
the man. Listen, anytime that people who work here, people who've grown up in Harlem lived in Harlem their whole lives would be like, oh my God, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Yeah, Billy is a treasure. So that's thing number one that's happening in terms of some of the stuff that I and the Apollo Theater are connected with for Harlem Week. Then also tomorrow, there is the Harlem Week at home dance party. So people can hear the DJ sounds from a radio show that I am very fond of called The Harlem Connection.
Why?
Well, on my spare time, I serve as the executive producer of the show. So on the Harlem Connection, Harlem Week has been going on for, as Tony said, 47 years. So tomorrow on Harlem Week at Home Dance Party on harlemweek.com at 5 o'clock, we'll be playing music from only artists who have performed over the history of Harlem Week.
Wow.
So
Well, you
there you
really
go.
don't. You was going to have a part 2, 3, and 4 because I don't know how you're
Well,
going to
no,
fit.
this is going to be part two. So last week, as we kicked off Harlem Week, we did 2 hours of artists who performed during Harlem Week.
Wow.
Now, part two, we'll do 2 more, and we could easily do at least 3 or 4 more
I'm sure.
episodes.
I'm sure. Now,
So,
will that be on the archives of HarlemWeek.com and
so
the
what we
show?
will do with that show is we will be live tomorrow on harlemweek.com from 5 to 7. Then we will record that so that if you want to tune in on WBAI.org, you can, or 99.5 FM in New York City, you can hear it if you miss it tomorrow afternoon. And then, yes, it will be on the archives for Harlem Week and on WBAI. So it'll be really good music. But wait,
Yeah, because
there's
I got to go
more.
back and
There's
hear what you
more.
did last week.
Yeah, no, that's yeah. So last week, the Harlem Connection to Harlem Week Part 1 was a little bit more mellow, like not completely mellow, but we played John Lucien, we played Joe Cuba, etc. This week we're gonna just make you want to shake your behind. So and that's all I'll say for now. Let's see. And sticking with tomorrow, Wednesday, August 11th. One of my favorite Harlem Week events is going to be tomorrow at 7:30 on harlemweek.com. It's an intergenerational conversation between civil rights activist and leader Rashad Robinson, who is the head of the organization called Color of Change, and he will be in dialogue with the Reverend Al Sharpton. And they'll be talking civil rights, and they'll also talk about how Harlem played a significant role in terms of their development when it comes to civil rights and their thinking. And so that is all on the internet. And I really am excited about that because that will be, as I mentioned, intergenerational. And frankly,
Right.
in this society right now, we really need the generations talking to each other. You know, we don't have it anymore like we used to, where, you know, we all listen to the same radio stations or watch the same TV shows. You know, now these kids listen to this station on their headphones, and these people watching this show on this network and what have you. And so that intergenerational conversation is one of many, many, many that we need to have, and that'll be about civil rights. And that is tomorrow, Wednesday, the 11th at 7:30 on harlemweek.com.
And are they
before
there's going to be a number of other intergenerational conversations that'll take place that have already taken place for that same reason. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Absolutely. Let's see. Moving on to Friday. As I mentioned, the Harlem Connection is going to be on WBAI. So turn on the radio, shake your behind, and it will also be on harlemweek.com. Then on Saturday, right here from this very spot, I'm going to be sitting right in the same spot right here on Saturday. Saturday is okay. So it's the 47th annual Harlem Week, but there's an event called Free Comic Book Day that happens every year. This is the 20th anniversary, but this year, because of the pandemic, they moved Free Comic Book Day to from what's usually in May to August. And so we at the Apollo are celebrating with our conversation about Luke Cage, a Harlem-based superhero. Many of you guys might know that he had a Netflix series, but the comic book came out in the early 70s. So we're going to be discussing Luke Cage with some of the creators who wrote some of Luke Cage's most memorable stories, either on in comics or on TV. And of course, we're hoping that'll be fun for comic book lovers. But the goal for this particular conversation is this. Art doesn't just happen in a vacuum, right? Artists, writers, pencilers, inkers, they all get influenced by what's happening in the world, right? So what movies are out, what's happening politically, what's happening socially in the world helps to influence how a character is created, who the character fights, who his villains are. Example, Captain America. It's not coincidence that Captain America debuted right before World War II, or America entering World War II. and his main supervillain was a Nazi. It's
Nazis.
a perfect reflection of the time, right? And so we're going to talk about not just, Luke Cage has superpowers. Of course, we'll get into that. But we're really going to get into the nuts and bolts of how did this character get created? What was it about the times? What role did Harlem play in the development of the character? And so that will be a conversation that, again, will be on either apollotheater.org or harlemweek.com. And that is Saturday morning at 11 o'clock, and we really hope that folks will tune in. If you ever wonder why some of the superhero movies are so popular these days, this is a conversation where you will find out why. And then the other thing that I would be remiss to not mention is that, of course, I'm talking all this virtual stuff, but Harlem Week is doing live. It's Harlem Week Reimagined. So there'll be live events out in the streets, and that you can see on your phone or your computer. And out in the streets, the Apollo Theater is going to take a part of that. And we will participate by having, so we have Amateur Night traditionally here in the theater. And the guy who does Amateur Night with us, he is the Set It Off man, Reginald Spencer. And so Billy Mitchell, our historian, and Reginald Spencer will tag team on the main stage on 135th Street. Sorry, Tony, I almost. You see, I go back for Harlem Week. I'm going back for Harlem Week. We'll be on 135th.
You're a guy then, though,
But those memories are embedded. The people I saw out on 125th Street. So in any event, so the Apollo will be participating. So if you've never been to Amateur Night, or it's been a long time and you want to get a taste of what the Apollo is and what the flavor is and the legacy, Reginald Spencer will be there to do a performance. And then there are going to be so many other great performances. And the beauty of this year is people can catch it in person, which we couldn't do last year, or over the internet. So we're giving you choices this year for Harlem Weeks.
Well, there's a yin and yang and everything. So this old virtual environment has expanded so many different things, including Harlem Week, so that so many more people from around the corner, around the world, can experience it. This telecast, people will be seeing this from around the corner, from around the world. So it's a way for people who may have been in a small country and say, "Oh man, that's the Apollo. That's our day." So our day, one of the things that I've learned about being on a national broadcast is that people run up to you and you don't know who they are, and they're talking to you about like they know you. But you have to be careful for that, because somebody caught me one day and did that, and then after he completely had me fooled and embarrassed, he said, "Can I borrow $1?"
Life in Harlem.
Like a Harlem.
Yeah, I'm not worried about anyone remembering me. I just hope that they remember. I mean, the main thing that people need to remember is, I appreciate it. But all we need them to remember is harlemweek.com and apollotheater.org. They need to support the institutions that, both organizations are not-for-profits, and we're all working and busting our behinds to try to support the culture. And we hope that people will show their appreciation by tuning in and donating where they can. And Tony, last thing on my part is I really don't have to worry about people rolling up on me, because I'm going to be off the line in just a few moments. And once Dietrich comes on, ain't nobody going to remember me. Remember apollotheater.org and harlemweek.com and Dietrich Bolden. And the brother who asked you for the $1, he should ask Dietrich Bolden.
I'm going to tell her you said that.
Member.
She's going to talk about you. And Ade, thank you. I know you have to run, but for those who are out there, this National Comic Book thing it's all over the place. If we go on to Instagram, you'll see, and everybody is tuning in to this Luke Cage thing. It's all over, Instagram and all of that. So great job, and see you soon.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, audience, for listening to Urbanology, and y'all take care.
And thank you for letting us look inside the Apollo Theater. But don't forget, there's a you don't want to miss
The
that.
virtual
Give the time
tour.
again.
The virtual tour is the virtual tour for the Apollo Theater is tomorrow at 4 o'clock. ApolloTheater.org, and I'm telling you,
You don't want to miss
Billy
it.
Mitchell, you will not be sad. I promise you.
And thank you, Ade. And matter of fact, if you tune in there and you don't know, if you learn something, you will learn something that you don't know. Because every time I see him, and I've known him for almost those 50 years, and every time we sit down and talk, he tells me another story. It's not really, I'll give you a little hint, it's what happens behind the stage that will keep you captivated about some of the stars that you know that we can't talk about.
I can neither confirm nor deny, sir.
Thank you, Ade. I know you got it.
I will tell you this. I have worked here for 14 years. I've been coming here since I was a kid, and the stories I could tell. So I'm like, well, if I got stories, Billy Mitchell got stories. So everyone tune in, apollotheater.org and harlemweek.com. And I appreciate y'all's time and ears.
Well, you too, Ade, and you've been around for a long time. You might not remember this, but when you were a young person, your dad, myself, and Mr. Sutton used to clean out the Apollo when you took over that.
Trust me, I remember. Y'all take care.
Because you were working.
Yeah.
Take care. Thank you, Ade.
Peace.
We'll be seeing you soon. Take care. All right. Ade Williams, my godson, and he is the son of my close friend, Lloyd Williams, who is the real godfather of Harlem, and the head of the Greater Harlem Chamber of Commerce. Matter of fact, if you pick up the Harlem Community News this week, coming out on Thursday, I wrote kind of like a historic preview, or not a preview, a historic article that talked a little bit about how a lot of this started with the Honorable Percy E. Sutton, who was the borough president at one point, and really when being the borough president, I mean, there was a lot of power there because he had power of the Ways and Means Committee, and he thought that tourism would be the economic development tool that would allow for New York City, New York State, and of course his beloved Harlem to get out of the slump. Harlem, New York City, where New York was bankrupt. Gerald Ford told New York to drop dead, and Mr. Sutton used tourism to be a mechanism that would allow for that to happen. So again, thank you, Ade Williams, for coming on. We will have coming on soon another young board member of the Harlem Week Board of Directors, Beatrice Bolden, and one of the things that is happening with all of us, is that we're in the middle of Harlem Week, so they're trying to juggle and find ways to separate themselves from some of the stuff that's happening to do this interview. But the bottom line is, we on the 14th and the 15th, those are the last two major events, the 14th and the 15th. That's when we will close out, so to speak. As many of you may know, Harlem Week used to be, well, it started out as a day in 1974, and then as it grew and it grew to almost a month and a half of activities that would take place, about 100 and some odd different events that would take place throughout the community. And it became the foundation of the tourism component of New York City, thanks to the Convention and Visitors Bureau, and then NYC and Company afterwards, promoting Harlem as a place to come. And in in 2019, the New York City Convention and Visitors Bureau, which is the marketing arm for the New York City for Marketing, Promotion, and Tourism, cited Harlem as the top three locations in New York City where tourists requested to go, and it would move between number one and number three depending upon what time of year. And of course, around this time during the summer, Harlem was the number one place that people wanted to go because Harlem Week is an international event. And last year, it became virtual, which even uh, made it more of an international event because people could see it from wherever they were. And that will take place again this year. If you go to HarlemWeek.com, you'll be able to see some of the things that you might even missed, such as the um, Great Day, which took place on Sunday, August uh, I'm August the 8th. I'm getting my dates mixed up. Sunday, August the 8th, and it was at the U.S. Grant Memorial Park in Harlem on 122nd Street and Riverside Drive. A lot of that you can go to HarlemWeek.com and see some of the footage. It was a wonderful, wonderful event. All kinds of different acts and performances, and I think one of my favorite was some of the Broadway plays that came up to advertise. Actually, in the Harlem Community News, they were giving away tickets to, Lackawanna Blues, which that's going to be the music is wonderful. So if you can go to HarlemWeek.com, you'll be able to see some of that, which is the first time people will be able to not only see performances live, but also be able to see that if they can't make it to an event, to see it live. And that is going to continue throughout. And one of the wonderful things about it is we will be doing both. Now, I know that Beatrice Bolden is probably I'm not sure whether she's back yet, but there she is. When we talk about moving it forward, you'd heard Ade, and another person who, wow, when she first started working with the Impact Repertory Theater, and we'll talk a little bit about that. That was a number of years ago,
Yes.
And she has grown and grown and have taken. And I knew when she became the board of Harlem Week what that meant.
But you're right.
I said,
You're
okay, once you become a board member, so I knew I was going to be seeing a lot more of you besides
right.
Impact. And Impact, we'll talk a lot about Impact because that's a wonderful story. My good friend and partner, Jamal Joseph, connected with the man right behind her over her shoulder, Wilson Rivers, developed Impact Repertory Theater. Jamal and I go back. We were in the Panther Party together, so that's how far back we went.
Yes.
But the bottom line is that is such a wonderful program. Matter of fact, when I was at City College for a period of time, when it was just starting out,
yes,
and we were up there at City College, and it's a way to work with people, work with young people. And Beatrice, you can do this better than I because you're part of it. But I'm so proud of you guys.
Thank you so much.
You allowed for young people to express themselves and to, instead of taking it out in the streets, they put it into song and act. And that same energy, that's Impact.
Yes,
and,
it is.
And you were nominated for Academy Award for August
Rush.
August Rush.
Yes, the
and
film
that was great because we had all kinds of young people tuning in for the first time for seeing their neighbors.
That's right. We were the Harlem Cinderella story.
The Harlem Cinderella story.
That's
But
right.
Beatrice, I'm sorry, you see how proud I am of you. I need you to you to talk a little and let people know about what you're doing with Impact, what you're doing with Harlem Week now, and that's probably about 4 shows, but try to see how we can fit some of that in.
Absolutely. First of all, thank you so much. It's been an honor and pleasure growing up underneath you, Tony, and underneath Lloyd and Voza and Jamal. You guys gave me my foundation, and coming from you guys, it's an honor and a blessing. So, Impact Repertory Theater is an arts program for young people between the ages of 12 and 18, we say. But lately, we have been very visual to younger people. Times have changed. When I was in Impact, which is when we were at City College in Aaron Davis Hall in Compton Hall, I was at the tender age of 15. I'm far from 15 now, but we're attracting a younger crowd. And Impact is a leadership training and arts program that is a free program to youth from just not Harlem, but also the tri-state area. We have young people coming in from out of state, but of course, the bulk of our members are from Harlem. It's free leadership training. It's training in the arts, theater, songwriting. All of Impact's material is original material written and inspired by the young people. What we do is we have these workshops, our leadership training workshops, and we talk about what's going on in the world right now. And that's how we come up with our material. Our wonderful executive artistic director, Jamal Joseph, he always knows how to guide us and gear us in the right direction when it comes to that. Right now, actually, we are in the creative stage with our IOB project and Impact Vibe, and we're calling it the Impact Way. And it's our Impact Community Boot Camps. Like Ade said earlier, and Ade, I heard everything you said, and I will deal with you shortly. We are focused on this intergenerational bonding, and that is our Impact Way IOB campaign. And we're focused on under-resourced Black communities in New York City. And again, our young people need that guidance, especially in this day and age and in this time with COVID. And I call last year the apocalypse, because that was the biggest pause and one of the worst times in a lot of people's life, especially our young people. Our young people had to go to remote learning, and remote learning is difficult for adults. I know. I took some of my college courses online, so I don't understand how people think that with the virtual learning, not understanding why grades are slipping or kids are acting out. They're bored. They were bored. There was nothing to do at home, so they drove their parents crazy. But now we're back, with social distancing and have to wear masks. I always, my hashtag, I hope to see your masked face in the place, because I would love to see you, but please have on your mask. And of course, we're encouraging vaccinations. But since we are coming back together, reaching out with the intergenerational communities, that's our IOB campaign. And I see our website was up on the screen. If you go to our website, you can donate to this IOB campaign. We are really trying to create new projects for our young people to get them back engaged, to get them focused and doing everything they need to do to get back into school, and that artistic outlet, which they did at a great day in Harlem at Grant's Tomb. If you
sure did.
Into harlemweek.com, you will see Impact Vibe performing. We did a project with Takeo around all of the Asian hate and everything that was going on. And we honored Betty Parks and Honorable John Liu at a great day in Harlem. And one of our projects with Takeo was re-recording some Impact music. So now we have some Impact music in Japanese, but re-recording One Love by Bob Marley, because that song says everything. You can't write a better song than that. So One Love and Impact, and in partnership with Takeo and Pastor Chaka and his youth in Zimbabwe with the intercultural aspect of One Love. So that was a great show. It was a great time. I actually hit the stage with the young people, for the first time in a long time. So,
well, and you were well missed. But, one of the things, too, when we talk about young people and the boot camp, when you're at City College, I used to come in and sit and watch the training, what was happening in between. And I was looking at it, and I called Jamal. I said, Jamal, you're doing the same stuff we used to do in the Panther Party as relates to our training. And he said, yeah, because look what the Panther Party did to help us, because it's no joke. I mean, you can't you can't slouch,
No,
the kids, it's not like you're going to join this thing and not be who you are, because if not, you're going to be put into a place where you see who you are.
That's
and
right.
A lot of times we hear people say that young people are who they think people think they should be, or who they think that they should be, but maybe not. But one of the things that, thanks to Jamal, Vosa, and yourself, the young people who are in Impact, they know who they are.
Yes, and see, the great thing about Impact's leadership right now is all of the staff have come up through the program. Malik Beckford, who is our assistant artistic director, our director of programming, S. Jordan Isler, and our director of choreography, Nicole Acey, and myself, Beatrice. We all came up through the program, so we all know the structure. It's all family. Jamal, Vosa, Raymond S. Johnson, they did a great job in training us. Also, Courtney A. Bennett, who is also a founder of Impact Repertory Theater. They did a great job, because we're still pushing forward, still, instructing our youth. I always say that Impact helped me become a better person. I did go to Choir Academy, and I was in the Girls Choir of Harlem. So I had great vocal training and all of that, but
we can sing.
Impact.
We missed that song, that voice of yours, because you can sing. Now, tell us a little bit about your role as a board member of Harlem Week and some of the things that people are going to see on the 14th and the 15th.
Well, as a board member of Harlem Week, I'm a proud board member. This is a position that I've dreamed about. We have been working hard with our hybrid this year. We are virtual and live. So everyone who is not comfortable yet coming out, being in the crowd, you can go to harlemweek.com and see what's streaming live and see what you might have missed and you want to see, or see something you saw and you want to see again. So right now, coming up, and this weekend on the 14th and 15th, the 14th being Summer in the City on 135th Street, and on Sunday being Harlem Day on 135th Street. And we will have vendors, exhibitors, performers. On Saturday, we'll be going from St. Nicholas Avenue to Adam Clayton Powell Jr. Boulevard. And on Sunday, we'll be going from St. Nicholas Avenue to Malcolm X Boulevard. But on both days, there's also the Children's Festival, which is happening at Howard Bennett Park, which is on 135th Street between 5th and Malcolm X Boulevard. And that's where all the children's festivities will be. We'll have youth artists. There will be activities in science, in sports, face painting, and it will be just great. So bringing young people out. The Children's Festival is always a fun time to see young people perform for young people. We have spoken word artists, dancers, singers. It'll be great. Cotton candy, bouncy houses, science bus. So it's not just about being fun, but also about being educational. And of course, for the adults, all the vendors on 135th Street with all of the entertainment. We have After 7 coming to the main stage, which is great. We have Todrick Hall coming to the main stage. So we have a little bit of everything for everybody. Also this Thursday at the Harlem State Office Building on Adam Clayton Powell Jr. Boulevard is Summer Stage. And Summer Stage will be hosted this Thursday by our Vice President, Marco Nobles, and WBLS's host will also be there, and it's a fun time. You have Legacy will be out there. You have an Impact Vibe artist, right? Impact Vibe artist Luther King. He will be featured out there. So it's time for some great music. Interact.
And what's the time for that? What's the time for that? This Thursday, right?
Yep, that is this Thursday, starting at 5:00.
Mm-hmm.
Starting at 5:00. So please go out and enjoy for Summer Stage. You also have the Uptown Night Market that's happening on Thursday evening, and that's under the 12th Avenue structure on 125th Street. That goes from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. And on Friday, we have our International Film Festival. For the first time ever, we're doing it at the East River Plaza outdoors, and that should be great. I'm actually going to that. I'm excited.
The East River Plaza.
Yeah.
Tell a little bit about that.
That's on 100 and between 117th and 116th Street by the river, the new mall over there. And there will be screening of film. This year, we're paying tribute to Chadwick Boseman and Cicely Tyson. So a lot of the films and things that you will see will be around that. Our interaction and free comic book day that is on the
Marco
14th.
just talked about that. That's going to be on the 12th also, I believe.
Oh, okay. Free comic book day. Yes. And I know we are talking about Luke Cage, which is our Luke Cage.
Yep, Marco, Marco had to bring that in. That's,
you talking about
Marco, I mean, Marco, Ade. Well, you see, Marco, Ade, my son, Tom, they all came up in the same under, so sometimes, I
do that all the time. It's fine.
But yeah, he talked a little bit about that, and there's going to be a virtual tour. Actually, the comic book I think is the 14th.
I think that's Saturday. Yeah, it's Saturday.
Yeah, the virtual tour is the 12th that they're doing a virtual tour of it, because I know there's a lot of things that are kind of overlapping. But and then we go to the 47th annual Harlem Day.
Yes, Harlem Day, which will be we will have 2 stages on that day, one on St. Nicholas Avenue and one in front of the YMCA. On that day, there's also the fashion show that's happening on the St. Nicholas Avenue stage, which is always a big to-do. So I always look forward to the fashion show. And on the YMCA stage, you have your local artists from Community Board 9 and from West Harlem. Of course, Impact Repertory Theater. You have, we're doing a tribute to Amanda Gorman on the YMCA stage and in the Children's Festival. So we will have some young people, some young spoken word artists and some more mature spoken word artists on the YMCA stage, because that young lady did a magnificent job at the ordination of the president. So we're looking forward to that. And
one of the things too, just to make sure that people know, there are 2 fashion shows. The one on the Y stage will be the back to school fashion show.
We combined them this year.
Oh, okay.
They're combined this year, and they're both will be on the St. Nicholas stage. Yes.
Oh, well, you see, I'm that's what happens.
Things
when the young people take over, they tend to, do some different things, But I know that's probably because on the 14th, the Roadrunners are going to have their 5,000 people running on St. Nicholas.
The Harlem 5K run, yes, and that starts at 8 a.m. and we'll have some amazing African drumming out there to warm up the crowd and get the blood flowing before y'all sprint off and run. And it's also the family health run and walk that takes place at the same time, and families can walk and run together, which is also a great experience and a bonding experience to bring people closer together, especially after coming out of our abodes during COVID. You'd be happy to see each other and hug one another, and why not walk together? So and speaking of wellness, I know that there's going to be on the 15th Harlem Wellness Village. Yes, Harlem Health Village. Yes. So please go by. There will be representatives from Metro Plus, visiting nurse services, our very own Harlem Hospital, Mount Sinai, and a couple of other things. We'll have some exercise demonstrations, for every generation.
And then we're probably working on having the Key Energy Center have a location out there where my wife and I will probably do some energy treatments,
which is amazing.
When if I have time to do that,
exactly.
She probably will. But
And of
you know,
course, at the Health Village, with their we'll also have vaccination buses available for
and
who want to
testing.
get vaccinated, and testing, COVID testing. That'll be available. It's available all throughout Harlem Week. We are very, very focused on helping everyone get fully vaccinated and wear your mask and continue to get tested so we can heal as a community.
What do you see happening in the fall and going towards the closing out of 2021 with Impact?
Oh, with Impact, we'll be in the fall is our intake process. So we will be going to different schools and having open houses to intake our new boot camp class of young people. And Impact is not focused on your talent. We want you to come and try and learn. I can tell my story because it's personal to me. At Impact, I always sang, but I was shy and I never looked into acting or doing anything else other than that. But because of Impact, I have now not just been on stage acting, I have
You're shy no more.
I've stage managed, I've produced, I've directed, and it's because of the training and the people that were allowed in my life through Impact. I was talking to Vosa the other day, and it was like, if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't have met half of these people. The other young man behind me in the picture with Vosa, Mr. Danny Glover. I had Sonia Sanchez in my life. You know, I had the great late Ruby D in my life. You know, these all became my mentors that I can speak to and call on, especially when I was on the stage and having those issues. So Impact has been a blessing, and I want Impact to continue to be a blessing to other young people so these opportunities don't die. You know, we all not around forever, so I need someone to step up and take my place. And what better way to do it?
If someone wants to get more information about the ability to get in, should they go to the website, or is there some up the
No, you
website?
you go straight to the website, and I can give you our number here at the Impact office. That's 212-926-4516. Or you can email me at impact, IMPACT, D as in David, IETRICE @gmail.com. That's impactbeatrice@gmail.com. And I'll be happy to send you information, a pamphlet, our lookbook. We have a lot of materials to share. We will be having parents meetings because we want our parents to encourage the young people to come out to the program. You know, we can't do it without the help of the community.
Beatrice, how did you feel when you learned that Impact had been nominated for an Academy Award?
Well, I was a part of the filming process. I'm actually one of the co-writers. You know, all of us, we wrote "Raise It Up," and being in the film.
That was the song that was nominated.
Yes, the song nominated was "Raise It Up," and from the film August Rush. And I jumped around in my living room and spun around my mother because I was still living at home at that time, and it was just an amazing feeling. And I wasn't just happy that, of course, we were nominated for an Oscar, but we were able to take 30 young people out of Impact to California to perform on that Kodak stage, and them just having the experience of flying alive. Them never flew before, you know, so flying out to California, waking up, going into hair and makeup, being treated special, getting up to rehearsal, all the stars meeting, and they were very nice to us. And that it was a great opportunity going into the huge studio to record our Oscar version of Raise It Up, you know, working with Jemiah Nash, who is a talented young lady. It was just great. It was great.
And the beautiful thing about that, I remember Jamal was telling me the story that when they was filming August Rush, there was this feeling that, oh, there's not a lot of Black people there. So they went to visit a church, and they heard you guys singing, and they rewrote the whole screen.
That's right. We were actually doing a project for the Tupac album, A Rose 2, his dedication album, the second dedication album. And we were filming the song When Your Hero Falls at my church, actually, New Mount Zion Baptist Church. And they came in to see us. And yes, they rewrote the script to include this choir that he ran into singing. They wanted us to sing a song, I believe it's sometimes I feel like a motherless child or something like that. And Jamal said, let us try something, you know, and Charles Mack, our music director, who is still the music director today, just started playing on the keys, and we just started singing and writing some stuff down and raise it up. Whoop, there it is.
And if you, I think you might be able to get it on, YouTube.
Yes, you can go to YouTube. Impact has a YouTube page. So if you go to YouTube and look for Impact Repertory Theater, our channel will come up, and you can see Raise It Up at the Oscars. You can see different performances that we have done all around Harlem, all around the state of New York and America. So, check us out and go to the website. There's videos up on the website. Also involved in our Impact Rep College Prep program, because Impact does support you going to school. We encourage you going to school. Between Impact and the Greater Harlem Chamber of Commerce, that was my first set of scholarships going into college. Lloyd, Vose, and Jamal do not play. We do not play about education. So we do have our Impact Rep College Prep program, which was created and implemented by an Impact alumni, as Jordan Isler, who is now our director of programming. And she sits down with not just the students, but parents when it comes to personal essays, SAT prep, financial aid, scholarships, etc.
Well, and again, for those who are listening and would like to have their child have the discipline and interface, because it's not just discipline, it's creating a certain type of understanding of who you are. The boot camp, when I joined the Panther Party, it was right out of the military. And I did a lot of work, in special forces and all of that. So my role with the Panther Party was working with Jamal and creating certain types of exercises, certain types of training that I went through. So when I came to see you guys go through your process, I said, Jamal, that's the stuff that we was doing, and he says, yeah, because we have the same need, my brother. You know how
we have the same need, my brother.
We need to make sure that our young people know who they are. And that is the whole point of the training, is to allow for you to understand that you could do what you didn't think that you could do.
Exactly.
Just like the first time I met you, you were kind of shy. And if I had told you you're going to be on national TV, you would have probably said, I can't do that.
I can't do that.
When you were on the radio, and they couldn't even see you. You was a little timid. But
that's right.
Not no longer.
You can't stay timid around Jamal, Vose, and Lloyd. You got to come out.
And I am so happy that you are where you are. Only bad thing is that you don't sing as much as you used to.
I don't. I'm sorry.
So that's the only downside of it. But again, any last words you would like to let people know about the last part of Harlem Week, or any other issue?
Yes, I want everyone to please continue to visit our website, because even though we're not doing a lot of things live, we have a lot of pre-recorded stuff that will be streaming. All of our summits are up there. Our children's spelling bee will be streaming.
Which is great.
Yes, our youth hackathon and youth conference will be screening, and career fair, which is a lot of great information. Our connection to Broadway, so the Broadway panel and Broadway Row will be out on Sunday, so you can see all of the shows that will be opening this fall or coming back. Ain't Too Proud, Lackawanna Blues, Tina. There's a lot. Michael Jackson's Story is coming to Broadway this fall. Our board members, Donna Walker-Kuhn and Irene Gandy, always keeps us up.
Irene will receive a Tony. She was on the show last
another
week.
Tony. Yes, she is.
Receiving another Tony. And before I forget, you just sparked my thought. On, I think it's Harlem Day, one of the 14th or the 15th, you have to go to the site to check. There will be a open audition for the
audition for Ain't Too Proud.
Ain't Too Proud. And and matter of fact, in 2019, someone did that and got the role.
He sure did.
They're doing that. They're doing that again.
Doing it again. Yes,
I think it's the 14th or the 15th. I'm not sure which one it is, but there will be an open call.
Yes,
so if you think you can sing, they'll be out there. And Lackawanna Blues, if you go to the site, and see.
They were amazing Sunday, weren't they?
Oh man, they had
Oh my
everybody rocking.
gosh, that's
you
it.
know, you
The
know.
young people, and that's one great thing I like, because the exposure to other types of music, that comes on with Harlem Week and this festival for the kids. It's not just about R&B and hip hop. You have blues, you have jazz,
And gospel,
and
Hezekiah Walker.
gospel. Yes, Hezekiah Walker, who came through on Sunday and did an amazing job, as he always does. So exposing the young people to that, Harlem Week always makes sure that it's a intergenerational festival, and I greatly appreciate that.
And I'm so happy to see the new line of leadership coming into play. You've just seen two of the young board members when we first started were not even born yet, but now they are, taking on a leadership role. Beatrice Boland, I am proud of you, and I look forward to seeing you do more of the things. I know that you're saying what? More of the things that you're doing in a leadership role. But you're right. You have to have a couple of more of you develop into what you've done.
Yes.
And I know that you'll be doing this. Again, Harlem Week ends the 14th and the 15th. However, you can go online and see all of the stuff. The live activities will, of course, be on 135th Street between St. Nicholas and Marcus Garvey Boulevard on Sunday, St. Nicholas Boulevard to Adam Clayton Powell Jr. Boulevard on Saturday. A lot of entertainment, a lot of things, major fashion shows going on, and you can see it.
Yes, right.
Live or virtually.
Yes, and don't forget to tune into the Harlem Connection. I want to say that and shout out the Harlem Connection, and one of my favorites. But Ade, I am going to get you, because I did hear everything that you said. Everything.
I told him. He knows. All right, then. Thank you, Beatrice. Actually, I have to be at the office at around 5:30, so let them know that I'm coming.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, and I appreciate your help, and of course, thank Soul City, and of course, thank Matt McCoy is doing lot of the one of the reasons why we have a lot of this virtual stuff going on that you can see is because of Soul City TV. So
that's right. Seen him out there at a great day doing his thing,
and he will continue to be out there. So thanks again. Love to see you do what you do so well. I just want to hear your voice a little bit more often. Hopefully you'll be able to do that.
I am singing on Sunday. So
okay, then we have to make sure that we keep that on tape so that we can make sure that is something that people see, because they need to hear that voice. Take care. And thanks for taking some time off of your real busy schedule, because I know what they do. I know once you were on the board, I said, okay, I know what that means. Take care.
Thank you, Tony. Bye-bye.
Bye. And that is the final special edition of Urbanology dealing with the Harlem Week Festival. As it mentioned, we end on the 14th and 15th, but you can still go to harlemweek.com to see many of the things that you might have missed. And we're looking at having an interesting show next week. I'm kind of working on it with Matt McCoy to try to bring together some interesting sport history next week, if we can do that. And that's the plan. So tune in, and we'll be talking to you real soon. Come out. I hope you can come out for the 14th and 15th if you can. My plan is to have my wellness station in the Health Village. So if you can come out and say hello, that would be great. Take care, and hopefully the rest of your day will be a good one. This is Tony Rogers, Urbanology, signing off.
This is Kia Rogers, and you're listening to Urbanology with my dad, Tony Rogers, on WHCR 90.3 FM, New York.
Urbanology.